We have very exciting updates in the world of boxing. Everyone is waiting for the next opponent of the best heavyweight in the world, and things are changing fast. After concluding the trilogy against Deontay Wilder, many of us are wondering who Tyson Fury is going to fight next. The biggest possibility is Dillian White as well as Anthony Joshua. After Fury defeated Wilder on October 9th and Usik outpointed Joshua just a month before, there is no doubt who the top heavyweights are. But as ESPN reports, literally at the last minute, the fight for the title of unified champion was derailed. According to the source, preliminary negotiations ended successfully. British contenders Anthony Joshua and Dillian White agreed to a payoff, allowing Tyson Fury and Alexander Usik of the Ukraine to determine the first unified champion of the four-belt era. According to a source, at the last minute, White and Joshua's teams decided to renegotiate the deal, after which the whole scheme fell through. That's what they call greed, Fury summarised.
Guys, had to do this video. Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua have got to be the worst established businessmen in history. Today they lost $90 million. God, son of a crazy.
Supposedly, the Fury vs Usyk fight was supposed to take place in June in Saudi Arabia, and the same $155 million that was promised to investors last year for the Fury vs Joshua fight would have been on the line. The source claims that this is the reason why the WBC has repeatedly postponed the bidding for Fury vs White fight. Dillian is the organisation's interim champion and mandatory challenger. Ex-unified heavyweight champion Joshua lost the titles to Usik in London in September, after which he used the rematch clause written into his contract. The Brit was close to stepping aside for the time being and allowing Usik and Fury to determine the winner. In return, Joshua was promised $20 million and a fight with the winner. The flamboyant John Fury, father of WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury,
that's Big John Fury, from whose balls I came from,
in an interview with TalkSport revealed what was really going on behind the scenes. It was an offer to British contenders Anthony Joshua and Dillian White to temporarily give up their title claims and receive a generous payout for it. It was presumed that in this case, Fury would fight for the title of unified world heavyweight champion with the owner of all the other belts in the division, the Ukrainian Alexander Usik. In Joshua's case, there was talk of a £15 million payoff, but he decided at the last minute to ask for even more, after which the whole deal fell apart. If we had been offered, we would have taken it right away, without even thinking about it, says the father of Fury. It's a freebie, bang, and money in my pocket. £15 million, of course we'll take it. Dudes, this is business. Imagine yourself in the shoes of working people. They work for weeks for £100, and you're turning down millions. Now Fury will face the mandatory challenger White. As Big Fury said, Dillian could have got that money for free, but Tyson decided that nothing would go to waste. Now he's going to make everybody earn that dough in the ring. Greed ruined these reindeer. That same promoter, Eddie Hearn, he thinks he's a smart guy. What kind of businessman are you? You just blew £100 million for your client, meaning payoffs and money for the fight with Fury. Do you know why this has happened? Because he's a spoilt little brat who got an expensive toy from his father, meaning Matchroom Boxing. He can't earn his bread. He has no life experience whatsoever. I love that all these dudes are shitting themselves so spectacularly. Fury's father makes no secret of it. They're just now realising their mistake. You know what the funny thing is? The £15 million deal lay in front of the sucker Joshua for a full 5 weeks, after which Tyson changed his mind. He said, "You blew it for yourself. Now you're going to have to earn it." Hearn thought he was smart, but he had never dealt with Fury before. Now he wanted the whole thing to be a nightmare that didn't have to exist at all. He'd get 10% of Joshua's fee. He could have made £2 million. Man, we're laughing at you. Even a 10-year-old kid could do that, and you screwed up, Fury's father said.
You suckers! You idiots! You silly boys!
Yesterday, Vitaly Klitschko explained why Joshua should not walk away from a rematch with Usik. If he walks away now, at this moment when the boxing public is expecting a rematch and wants to see Joshua against Usik, he's showing weakness. Joshua, don't do that please, Vitaly urged. As fighters, we fight not only for ourselves, but also for the audience. The audience decides. If they want the fight, it has to happen. If Joshua goes, I'm not sure there will be the same interest in Joshua in the future. According to Klitschko, everyone is waiting for the rematch and is thinking, is Usyk so strong or has Joshua just made mistakes? Who is stronger? That's the question every boxing fan is interested in. So let's get the answer. That's why this fight has to take place. A great fight. As we all know, at some point there was no doubt who Fury would fight next. Joshua was acknowledged as the best fighter in the world along with Fury. The fight was meant to happen in 2021, but communications fell down due to Wilder's claim for a third fight. During this time, Joshua lost his belts to Usik, so a Fury-Joshua match wouldn't be as huge as it would have been a year ago. Now everybody doubts that Joshua is strong enough to fight Fury. Well, here he is. He can give an answer in a fight with Usik. If Joshua beats Usik, there will be huge interest in the fight against Fury. It will be the main fight of the last 10 years. Vitali continued to ponder. Joshua is a classic boxer and Fury is an unorthodox boxer. Both are punchers, both can decide the outcome of a fight at any moment. Both are world-class fighters and can knock each other out at any second. The fighters are like gladiators and they get a lot of attention around the world. And the Ukrainian's manager, Igor Klimas, hit back at Fury. Your words are worthless. Anthony Joshua is a coward. Alexander Usik is weak. And Dillian White doesn't want to fight. Next time, before you mention Usyk's name, check with your team, managers, advisors, and promoters who have agreed to all the terms. It sounds like it's a snag in you, and that your words are worthless. Meanwhile, Fury is shocked. Joshua turned down a $90 million payoff. Damn psycho. WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury claimed that Anthony Joshua and his promoter Eddie Hearn allegedly turned down a $90 million payback package to allow him to fight Alexander Usyk for the crown of Unified World Champion. The Brit announced this on his Instagram. The co-promoter of heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, Bob Arum, was interviewed by local media after winning the bidding for the Fury-White fight. There was a bid from Eddie Hearn, Matchroom and DAZN. We bet with our television partners BT and ESPN. Fury obviously wanted to make the fight with us because of our relationship with BT and ESPN, and we were able to win. Fury is mad with joy. I talked to him right after the bidding. He's really happy. And the first thing he asked me was that he wants Jared Anderson there. We had planned to show Anderson in March, but we'll show him in support of the Fury White card in April. Things have been so confusing. Despite all the good intentions on their part, it didn't work out. Because not only would they have had to pay for the Usyk-Fury fight, but they would have to pay huge money back to Joshua and back pay to White for 2 fights. And there was the television rights issue. It all didn't work out because they couldn't have the fight in April because of Ramadan. So we were talking about June at best, and Tyson ran out of patience with the whole thing. So the situation is very confusing. Still no one knows what will happen. Sometimes it seems like there's an update and we get the fight, but then something happens again and everything is delayed. Ultimately, Fury has a great choice when it comes to his next opponent. Most likely we will see him fight White or Usyk. White is the mandatory challenger for the WBC belt, and the two teams are deep in negotiations. Either of these will be a great fight, and will pave the way for a unified fight late in 2022. We're unlikely to see Fury fight Joshua, but the situation is so confusing and everything is changing so fast that who knows what will happen. So that's all for today.
And hey, if you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.